Welcome back, cover junkies, to Cover Decoder. That's right, folks. This is the show where we open Pampaw's oven of simple joys and huff the sense of childhood.
Meemaw, what kind of brownies are these?
Pampaw, I'm feeling real funny right now.
Yeah, man.
I am Tapes. I am the box of joy known as Tapes. With me as ever are my fellow bright-eyed, bushy-tailed cover decoders, Inks, with his beautiful little suspenders, and sitting on the rug playing with his Lincoln Logs is the Brengineer. And we're sitting in our cubicle of childhood memories.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, this episode, folks, we are back to comfort covers because, sadly, Thanksgiving is over. As you know, we had a fantastic interview, but it is time to move on past the wings of October and move into the little cottage, the little cottage of simple comforts.
Yeah.
What
better to do when you're leaking calories than to pick up your favorite comfort covers, and just hold them tight.
How can there be any comfort when all the leftovers are gone?
That's right.
Where's the leftovers?
There is no comfort.
Is you don't have to spend half your day on the toilet anymore.
Damn it, Inks! You ate all the comfort again.
You're free from the toilet.
That's right. Well, folks, remember, you can follow along with us today at coverdecoder.com.
That's right.
Go ahead and click on the slides. You'll get a beautiful glistening plate of slides to look at. And, additionally, if you want to hear the first half of this episode, which was my comfort cover, you're just going to have to get on Patreon, folks.
Let's get inside Tapes' head.
The cover call.
We're going to shrink down and go into a little submarine and go right into Tapes' heart.
That's right. It's up now for you to listen to. Otherwise, you're going to have to sit here with my two boys bouncing on Grandpa's knee and hear what they have to say.
Well, as you remember from October, we dove into some of our essentials. And if you were on Patreon, you got to see us talk about a very important person. The man himself, VP or Vincent Price. And this is the man that Brengineer is trying to slowly morph into. We all have our ideas of what we want to do and what we want to be when we grow up. Vincent Price is Brengineer. Tapes, I'm pretty sure, wants to found his own VHS-related religion. And me, myself, I am looking to slowly adopt the life of this man.
Oh, look at this guy.
Why? Okay.
So the first slide here.
How would you not want to be this guy?
He's surrounded by dinosaurs. Of course you want to be this guy.
He literally has a model. You can tell he probably built by hand of some ancient city, and there's a bird on his shoulder.
He's got a bird on his shoulder.
He's perched on his shoulder.
We are talking about, of course, James Gurney. He is the creator of one of my most comfortingest of covers. The book I hold in my hand, Dinotopia.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
Now, boys, this book
isn't just your childhood, my friend. Friend.
I almost picked this for myself.
I know.
See, my grandmother used to own this book for whatever reason. I don't know why she had it. But I used to go over to her house.
Oh, again, it was some history.
And I would just look at this book. I couldn't read it. I would just spend hours. There was nothing interesting to do at my grandma's house.
That's not true. You could pound Werther's originals.
Well, I'm telling you, if you can see on my camera here, this book, I looked through it so much. I rifled through it.
Is that your first Playboy right there? What is that?
Look, oh my God! I tell you what, this is better than Playboy, buddy.
There are dinosaurs in it, so some of the pages are probably, you can't see them anymore.
Some of those pages are stuck together, Inks. Are you sure that's Dinotopia?
This is beyond cummy. This is black belt cummy. This is cummy belt.
I'm pretty sure, folks, if we took that copy of Dinotopia, we could clone Inks.
And now we can make a baby Inksasaur. I told this to Tapes. I said I'm going to do this book that I've literally glued back together several times because the pages have fallen out, and so I've glued the spine back together. This book is one of my favorite books of all time, and as I've gotten older, I found that James Gurney, the creator of this book, is one of my favoriteest people of all time. And I'll tell you why. If you look at the first slide here, you've got the cover to Dinotopia. And
oh my gosh.
Right out the gate, folks. Right out the gate, I just want to
tell them about the cover.
Okay, yeah, great. I will. This cover, folks, we have a tritopod with his two horns there, walking with a picnic basket, and this lovely group of like pagan type people walking around him with flowers in their hair, taking their picnic basket, and next to him you have a styliopod rearing up with its long.
That's a
you're just making up dinosaurs.
Inks is over here giving me dagger eyes.
It's Parasaurolophus.
It's funny because he's rearing up like his rider just like slapped him on the ass. He's like, "Hey pal, what the fuck?
Yeah,
you don't hit my ass.
Excuse me, I'm not some cow.
I'm not some cow, okay?" And he's looking at him, about to like spit in his face. And they're walking, blowing these horns, and there's just this flower garden. It looks like Rome. Like a Roman celebration on the back of dinosaurs. It is fantastic.
The quality of this art is... This goes beyond
Master
just
level.
being good fantasy art. This is like the stuff the masters would paint. This is like Victorian style realism.
Yeah. This is some Grimshaw
hyper-realism. This is like he actually went to this place and he was painting what he was seeing. Like, it's astounding. His painting is astounding. It's incredible. It's like he's actually seen dinosaurs in the flesh, and he knows exactly how to paint the scales and where the light falls.
What do you think that face he's giving us right there? He's like, yeah, guess what, fucker? Like, I've actually seen dinosaurs.
Yeah,
I've been there.
I actually took this as a screenshot from one of his videos. Now, one of the reasons why I love James Gurney, and I'll get into more about the history of this cover, but he does a lot of videos on
I love it when they
YouTube, Instagram. He's got a blog called Gurney's Journeys. His website is fantastic. I've got a link to it right there under his picture called jamesgurney.com. And he just does a lot of informational videos. He's very accessible. He
teaches you how to paint.
Yeah, he's a great online mentor, really? And he even sells his videos in DVD form and download form, and they're totally worth picking up.
What are we doing here? Let's
get our paints out, everyone.
Come on,
yeah,
folks.
and the fact that he like makes himself accessible, and he could easily be that wizard that goes up into his tower and paints his incredible creatures and things, and he stays up there, and you don't know how he does this stuff, but he's very open with his techniques. Now, if you click to the next slide, you will see the full painting that this cover is taken from. Now, I had a hard time keeping my slides down because this whole book is full of incredible images. It is not the only Dinotopia book. There are 4 other Dinotopia books that he's illustrated and all kinds of other things, but I'm going to keep it to this book.
He writes them too.
Yes, he does write them, and he actually, I would even call it not even illustration, not even writing, but world building. He is world building.
World building.
So,
dude, I want to go to this orgy. I want to be on the back of that brachiosaur.
Yeah, this is a cool painting because it is it's called the Dinosaur Parade. It is oil on board, and it's actually inspired by campfire talks of lost civilizations that he would have with archaeologists when he was a traveling archaeologist or archaeological illustrator, and that's actually what he went to college for, was archaeology. And then he studied art as well.
Hey, Inks. Is this you in the future?
I could only dream.
You fucking time traveled, didn't you, bro? You time traveled, didn't you, bro?
This is my Vincent Price. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, folks. This is the life I want to lead because I always wanted to be a paleontologist when I was growing up. And so, yeah, this painting, this juicy painting, which you get to see the full spread of in the book, was inspired by what if there was a lost civilization in which dinosaurs and humans lived side by side. And if you look at the next slide, I've got him as roving illustrator that he was.
And he's in his. I just love dinosaurs, you know.
Look at him! Look at him in his hat.
I just can't wait to paint him.
Dude, he's got the Ian Malcolm, or he's got the Ian Malcolm, or he's got
the neck,
the neckerchief
bandana,
the neck. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got the Dr. Grant. That's what I was trying to say. Dr. Grant neckerchief. Yeah, yes, and this here.
Draw them. Yes.
This here's one of his sketches, and then I've got it sliced with the painting, so you can see it sliced. This is him doing his during his dream job of working at National Geographic, and
dude,
you can see
his sketches are just good enough to be in a book.
Yeah, and you could kind of see his sketches are You can see the influence that National Geographic had maybe on the DINOTOPIA cover, because National Geographic does that thing where the image goes over the National Geographic lettering, you know, and they do that with the Parasaurolophus going over the DINOTOPIA in the cover.
The Parasaurolophus.
Yeah, the Parasaurolophus.
Yeah,
one of my favorite dinosaurs. It's the dinosaur with the horn coming out the back, and they think that it actually used that like a trombone to make, you know, wicked cool music out there in the jungle to get all the dino chicks. Anyways, the
this is
next
my
slide.
back horn, baby.
Yeah,
I'm play
baby.
my back horn for you.
I still believe. The next slide is the painting that started it off. This is the painting that got him thinking, maybe I could do this.
Look how lush this is. Look at the fucking waterfalls.
This painting was inspired by Niagara Falls and him going and actually doing live drawings and live paintings at Niagara Falls. And he does a lot of his YouTube videos and his Instagram stuff is about him going out and doing live paintings and the importance of not just taking a photo of something and painting from it, but being in the moment and seeing the light change and feeling the energy of a place and recording it as fast as you can in full color with paint. And he has a really meticulous he's a meticulous planner. He starts with a drawing that is a sketch, and then he moves to a charcoal to get the lighting. Then he goes to a color sketch with gouache, and then finally, after he's done those steps, he paints it in oil.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's the thing that is kind of astounding to me is you would think with all those mediums layered on top of each other that it would like fuck with your painting.
No, these are not layered, my friend. These are separate pieces he does.
Oh my.
Yeah. And the thing is, he was a lot, he works a lot like our buddy Frazetta did. Like Frazetta would do these,
pal.
He would do these little basically painting sketches, which these sketches by themselves blow any other artist right now out of the water. Doing a quick sketch of his thing. And then the next one, you know, obviously blows that out of the water, but suddenly you have all these little sketches that are incredible pieces of art in themselves.
Although if this was Frazetta, every dinosaur would have a giant juicy ass.
It'd be so
big fat ass.
That Twerkosaurus Rex right there, pal. But the picture that I took of him, the screenshot, was actually a video that he was talking about doing this Scientific American cover of these tyrannosaurids that had feathers, and it shows him like going out into the woods near his house and painting trees, and then he comes and he's got all these feathers that he's got like put up in his workshop. His workshop is got like skulls from animals and all these like textures that he uses as his reference, but it also is filled with the next slide. maquettes that he actually makes. Not only does he do sketches of these creatures, but he makes little clay maquettes and little clay models so he gets the lighting just right.
Dude, look at this pterodon.
Yeah.
Look how badass it is.
The Quetzalcoatlus.
That thing. Look at the fucking bird.
Boasting the largest wingspan of any pterodactylid in
Here's
the
thing,
late
too.
Cretaceous.
This was always my favorite part of the book series with these guys.
Oh, the Skyback riders?
Yeah, dude. They like raced on these things and oh man, so cool.
See, my favorite stuff he did was in the second book when they go
underwater,
underground cave systems.
Yeah, and you get to see the mechs.
Oh man. Oh yeah, they had all these crazy machinery from like an ancient past.
Yeah.
And then reading through it now, I get a little anxious because, you know, the basic story is this father and son get in a shipwreck and they get washed up on Dinotopia, right? Which is this beautiful, unspoiled island. There's not really any wars or anything going on. It's just pure, you know, people live peacefully and it's like sort of this pure...
A quiet town.
You know, just exploratory time and they're enjoying the culture. And now I read it, I'm just like, oh man, I really hope like the United States don't like come across it because they're gonna suck all the resources and kill all the dinosaurs.
Look!
What are they gonna do?
They got great dinosaurs. That's great. We're gonna take all the dinosaurs. We're gonna round them up.
We're gonna turn this into a park. We're gonna put dinosaur merch in here. It's gonna be great. We'll call it Dinotopia Park.
I've got
these little humans that live here. Well, we'll make a lot of promises and we will not keep them.
Yeah,
we'll put them in funny suits and costumes.
We'll
pay them in whiskey.
No! Yeah, I will go straight Rambo and defend that island with my man pecs. I've got a video link up underneath his roving archaeological illustrator photo of a 13-minute video he did about the behind the scenes of Dinotopia and all the little things that it took to make the book and what led him to the book. So if you guys want to learn more about that stuff, it's super interesting. And then you can start watching all of his videos because there's just a bank of them. And
you know, I want to know, Inks, if he's still making videos, how come he hasn't put out another fucking Dinotopia book?
Listen.
What are you doing, Gurney?
Listen.
Come on.
The Gurn dog pumps it out, all right? You can't listen.
Where's the next book then?
Is like a beautiful woman, right? You know,
Gurn dog needs to stop resting on his laurels, get his ass in gear, and write the next book.
He's the. I am all for another Dinotopia book. His most recent book, Journey to Shandara, was pretty cool because he actually did dinosaurs with feathers in that, which he had not done before because the science wasn't there yet. We didn't know that dinosaurs had feathers, and so this was a chance for him to do feathered dinosaurs, and it's cool. But
you realize it takes him like 6 months to do some of these paintings too.
Easily. Just watching that Tyrannosaurus Scientific American one, I was like, the amount of time and study that it took to get to the end painting was just incredible. And I remember in the Dinotopia video, he talked about he was doing all these paintings and he hadn't really thought of a book yet. And then the thing that really fomented it for him was when he drew a map. And that map really stuck in his mind, and that's when it started to become a world.
It's and I know you guys
are map hounds. These boys are map hounds.
You gotta have a map.
Finally,
that's Dungeon Synth 101. Have a map.
Finally, I want to end on a segment. I know. Finally, I want to end on a segment called "All Roads Lead to Frazetta." Now, this is something I did not know about James Gurney, and until I started researching him and listening to some of his interviews. Gurney was one of two background painters on Fire and Ice.
Man.
And so him and Tom Kincaid, which if you know Tom Kincaid's work, it's very luscious, master of light kind of. Yeah, every little leaf has its own glow. They had to produce 600 paintings at the rate of 11 paintings per week. And they were also working on an instructional book together on the weekends. Yeah,
a week.
11 paintings a week. between two guys. Yeah,
that's more than a painting a day.
Look at the quality of these paintings too. They're incredible.
Well, and I remember him saying like some of them you could just take liberties on and just pump it out, stuff that wasn't going to be in the screen that much. But then other paintings like this pretty large volcano city.
So cool.
Where the fire keep was.
It's so cool.
Yeah, it's 16 by 20 inches. It took him 3 days, and it's painted on cell vinyl. It's painted with cell vinyl paint and airbrush.
What's that?
What is that?
An airbrush?
I have no idea. Animation's one of those things that's done on the computer now, but I guess you needed a special paint to stick to the cells, and then he used airbrush as well. And this is some luscious goodness. But I've got 3 paintings up here that were featured in the movie Fire and Ice, which. Yeah, I tell you what, if you want to strike me right in my heart, right in my core,
right on the tip.
Yeah, you put on some Fire and Ice so I can watch people ride dragon hawks.
It's got butt cheeks, both men and women. So it's got something for both of you.
The female protagonist, she doesn't wait for anybody. She handles her stuff.
There's a kraken.
There's a kraken.
There's a guy like having an orgasm while something in an ice wall. It's great.
So
there's a guy who has the power of yelling. Amazing.
Yeah, it's got prehistoric Batman in it. It's got it all. It's a fantastic movie.
I'm convinced. Awesome movie. I'm convinced. I want a Gurney suit. I'm gonna get me a Gurney suit. I'm gonna slide inside my Gurney suit so I can do some Gurney art. This is amazing.
Yeah. You got to check out his videos.
I will paint you.
I will paint him. I will. If this guy hasn't already leaded the life that I want to live, I'll say this one last thing. He has a dinosaur named after him.
Oh,
it is Corvosaurus gurney. It was named after him, or named in his honor in 2014. It's a badass dinosaur theropod. And
what the heck?
You can keep all your millions. You can keep all your riches.
Just name
a dinosaur. just name a dinosaur after me when I kick it.
The Incasaur. It's coming.
Incasaurus.
I'll take whatever. So little Inks, he was sitting on his floor. His parents were gone for probably 8 hours. And he didn't even realize because he was sitting there looking at Dinotopia.
Oh, this is such a lush book. And you can see some of his paintings you can see the undersketches, you know. You don't have to spend hours on each piece, but man.
No. Even the least thing in there, sometimes he has like a picture of an amulet or an artifact. And you can tell it was done pretty quick. Yeah. It's still beautiful.
Yeah, I mean dinosaur furniture, dinosaur language.
Yeah. It pains me on how long it takes me to paint something that looks good, and I see someone who did it in a few brush strokes. It's like, you gotta be kidding me! Like, come on, man!
So, Inks, finishing up your segment here.
Yeah.
What about this brings you comfort, other than the fact that it's filled with juicy dinosaurs that you want to have erotic relationships with?
Well, that's a good question there, Tapes.
It's a good question to ask. I immediately gravitated towards this, and I don't even remember when or how I got it. Just that it stuck with me and changed things for me, and the fact that one person can build a world so complete, and think about things that you just like. There's dinosaur sports in here, you know.
Yes,
and coming up with new ways of seeing the world is comforting in the fact that that you can do this with your mind. You can do this with your brain, and the fact that you can get lost again. The comfort of escape is so important and so powerful.
Yeah,
and
you can always go back to your mind.
I beg of you people, of you listeners, to go out and find your comfort covers and escape into them and go to that world again that just wraps you like a scaly, feathery embrace from behind
Just
by a
gives you little nibble on
Torvosaurus
your ear.
Gurney eye.
Just a little nibble. Maybe a little blood, not too much.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, fantastic, folks. Buy a copy of Dinotopia. Don't even bother looking. Just buy it.
Yeah.
Just buy
Another
it.
thing I discovered on his website, which is fantastic, again, it's very well organized, is you can buy his books directly from the website for the same price as you get them on Amazon, but he signs them. He signs them.
What?
He
Dude.
I will pay the whatever in shipping to get that signed copy.
Well,
And-
I gotta tell you a sad story because I lent my second book out to somebody.
No.
I can't remember. I never got it back.
Hey,
That's-
you fucker. Hey, pal.
that's
That is a
heresy.
infraction. That is
I gotta get it back.
yeah.
and signed.
That is a cover sin.
Well, speaking of getting it back, Brengineer, I believe it's time that we go back into your childhood and talk about some comfort.
Back into the
All right, so
Brengineer.
What are you
Little
going to do?
Brengineer.
What hot
It's-
rolls are you going to put out?
It's the weekend for little Brengineer. He's had a long week of school, and it's Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm.
He gets up before everybody else.
Yep.
Gets his bowl of cereal.
Cereal?
He sits next to the space heater,
Space heater.
little space heater that we have set up. I got a blanket. I'm warm. What do? I go to my
warm.
bookshelf. I eat my cereal.
That's
I
right.
don't have
Hey,
TV. I have a TV, but it's old. It's from the 70s.
You don't need that
We don't
TV.
have cable. I can't mess with the bunny ears very well to make it work.
He's eating
It's a dark
turnips
water
to
for you.
survive.
So what do I have to entertain myself with?
Porn.
Well, I will show you what. It's this. Right here. I would
Yes.
go to the shelf and I would pull out a copy of Stephen Biestie's cross sections.
Dude, Stephen Feasty?
Yes,
Biesty.
Stephen Biesty.
Feasting with the feaster.
Okay, so Stephen Biesty, cross sections. Oh man, I love cross sections. I've loved cross sections since I was a kid.
Oh, this is so
As-
cool. I
As a
love
little
this.
boy, I was enamored with airplanes, World War II airplanes, World War II ships, war tanks, all that stuff. And what could be better than just having models or like cards of images of the planes, Having a picture of the inside
Yeah.
of these things.
Yeah, what was going on? Where are the
see in there.
shitters?
Yeah,
Where did people
Where
eat?
does the sailor take a crap in a submarine? Like, what's going on here? So, as a kid, I was just so drawn to this world of cross sections where, everything was just laid bare. You could see all the intricate details. And it was always cool stuff, It was tanks, planes, submarines, castles, old ships, galleys.
Yes.
For a young mind who wanted to just explore these things and have them be accurate and so detailed, I was the kid who loved sitting at the library with an I Spy book or a Where's Waldo book because the detail.
Son,
I-
we're closing down now.
Yeah, exactly. There's something in me that just has always loved detail.
Yeah.
I love clearly the time it takes Stephen to do each piece. I mean, the level of detail in each image is mind-boggling.
It's astounding.
It's incredible.
And,
It's incredible.
And folks, in case you're wondering, I'm assuming that Brengineer, actually, even at the time that he was looking at these, the internet did not have quite the same content it has now. So these books, now you can just find whatever show and they'll take you on a visual tour. But these books would give you glimpses of things that you couldn't find.
Yeah. And so, I was a 90s kid. So these books were just coming out. I mean, the first book was in the 90s, and they kind of have kept coming out regularly since then. So here we have a picture of Stephen at his awesome little desk here, doing his
hi.
Stephen-y things.
You caught me doing a little picture. Guys.
Oh, hi, guys.
Marge, who let these guys in my house? You don't like them in my studio. This guy looks so uncomfortable. He looks so uncomfortable.
He does a little bit. So
he
yeah, that's
doesn't-
Stephen Biesty. He's a British illustrator. He basically was working as a freelance illustrator through the 80s, mid 80s and on, and he found basically his calling in doing these cross-section books. The first, which was Incredible Cross-Sections in 1992. It was an international
same year
bestseller.
DINOTOPIA came out.
Oh,
there you go. Oh, look at that.
Dude,
look at that.
Just the nexus happened of detail and nerd.
That's right. So, Incredible Cross-Sections came out in 1992 with over 1 million copies in print worldwide. And then after that, he kept putting out other ones, including Man of War, which was about 1,700 sailing ship.
Oh, I remember this one. Holy crap.
Each one. The next one, which is one of my favorites, is the Castle one. And then, if you can see, I'm just going to open a few pages.
This is incredible.
And
dude, the castle one, you can see people like dumping the turds out the windows.
Dude, this is so
amazing.
Cool. It's like you see pictures of bones and like ruins and stuff with moss on it, but these actually bring those things to life.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like what a castle would have looked like if it was lived in. It's so cool.
Exactly. So not only are these books incredibly illustrated, there's tons of great information. Each page, has your hyper detailed image with you can spend an hour on each illustration. I mean, there is everything you can imagine. I'm looking at a page here that shows you how chainmail was made. There's a little thing on how the ale maker tested his ale by pouring it onto a stool, and if the ale made his pants stick to the stool, it wasn't good ale. I mean, just like bizarre factual kind of stuff.
That's the most medieval shit I've ever heard.
Yeah. I like the idea of your parents getting up and coming downstairs and being like, honey, we're glad that you're reading these books in history, but can you stop trying to make beer?
Stop sitting on your dad's beer. A cool added thing to this, which I think was probably a little bit of inspiration from Where's Waldo, is you always have a stowaway or a spy in each book that you're trying to find. And so there's this little stowaway on each page that you're trying to find. Now, here comes the Brengineer part of why I love these books as a kid.
I'm going to find that.
These things are violent.
Yes.
They are kids' books, but they do not shy away from the nitty-gritty. This book alone, this Castle one, shows the life of a gong farmer. Gong farmer being the guy who had to clean out the castle latrine with a shovel.
Yeah.
It's got a whole section on torture. There's a whole war section where it shows, people's body parts being hacked off. There's a tooth extraction. I mean, it just really shows you, what happened in those times. And so as a young kid, I was like, oh, I don't think Mom and Dad really looked through this too well. I don't think they'd really be letting me look at this right now.
Yeah, there's what happens when a king and queen get married. That's an interesting.
I never went that far.
Here's the earmuffs that the surgeon had to wear because the screaming was so loud.
That's right. So Biesty uses paper, pen, ink, and watercolor paints. And get this, he never uses a ruler. He draws everything freehand. Everything freehand.
Jeez.
So here's something he said about his work. There's really no end to the amount of detail you can include. I don't use a computer, and I don't think I ever will. I draw with a pencil initially, and then I work on top of that with ink. Usually a rotring needle point pen. But sometimes I use a fine brush, which gives... I have no idea. Do you know what a rotring needle point pen is?
I believe it's a needlepoint pen that is rotored, that is using rotoring for detail.
What's rotoring?
What's rotoring?
I don't know. I made that up.
I
just picture him like standing in front
I got
of,
a wicked rotor
with his chin out, like I don't need computers, and I
got a rotor.
I got rotoring. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up immediately after this. I just loved it when you see that picture of him. He's got the jars of his pencils and pens, and they're all labeled.
There you
just
go.
In case you
He's
forget.
an organized fella. And then carrying on, he says, but sometimes use a fine brush which gives the line a little variety, a little texture. Then, of course, I add color and atmosphere with watercolor and washes.
Ooh,
so it kind of goes to show you can create incredible works of art with a pencil and some ink and a brush.
That's right.
And maybe a few micron pens. You know, that's really all you need to do incredible art.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at Inks is just talking about how we're just talking about the contrast. You know, they're both Gurney and this gentleman are both very detailed.
Yeah,
but they use completely different materials and they have completely different styles. But they achieve and granted they look very different, but they achieve very similar things.
Yeah,
and that your eyes can see so much,
and you can tell the level of study that both of these guys do. I mean.
Absolutely.
When you watch some of Gurney's videos and you see his workshop, it's just covered in organic and dead things, and he's like I said, he's got skulls and feathers everywhere, and his
this guy looks like a clean room.
Paint,
folks.
yeah, his little paint capsules are all covered in paints and thumb smears, and then you look at this fella here, and he's just. He's got one of those little vacuums, those little hand vacuums, just in case he gets some of the crumpet chrome.
Yeah. So he specialized in historical and architectural cutaways in school, and that's kind of what he was doing while he was doing school. So that's where he got all his training to do this kind of thing. So clearly he has an eye for architecture, for mechanical drawing, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, kids, don't let people talk you into like getting a degree in advertising or something you don't want to do. Stick with what you want to do. Stick your chest out, stick your chin out, and say, I use a rotary pen to do cutaways, and that's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep it going.
I'm a rotorist.
Yes.
I'm a rotor man.
So I stuck just a few of my favorite ones on here. Here you got a page from Man of War, which was about the 1700s sailing ship. Once again, just jam-packed with sailors and barrels.
Alive.
And,
which I believe, if I remember correctly, something similar to this was turned into a click interactive game.
We'll get there.
Oh, we're getting okay.
So,
we're getting there.
Moving next, we've got another just a image of a castle book. And as you can see with the goriness, you can see down here on the bottom left, these dudes dragging these corpses out of this bloody moats with a hook.
Bring out your dead.
Bring out your dead. One of my favorites, I looked at this endlessly as a kid. This was an image of a Russian tank.
It's a tank.
It's a tank.
Yeah, Brengineer is all about his tanks, folks.
That's right. I have a thing for tanks. You can see his humor in here because he didn't have to do this, but he added guys driving the tank, or rather up in the turret section. And he's actually split one of the guys in half, and you can see his intestines.
Look at that.
I'm going to cross-section him.
Dude, here's the dry biscuit lodged in his lower intestine.
Thought that was the funniest thing.
He put the potatoes in there.
Yeah.
So now, down here, I've added just a little video from the game. Now, the game was amazing. It wasn't really, I wouldn't say it was a game. It was more like it was a point-and-click sort of informational thing. It had the whole book laid out there for you, but it was animated, so you could click on the scenes.
Oh, folks, I remember this. I remember so well.
They animate this.
Look at this fucking professional embedding videos into his slides.
Yeah, right?
I'm telling you what, welcome to season 2.
Right. Folks, this game was so violent. It was so violent. Do you guys want to watch this?
Oh, yeah.
Now, you catch that stowaway. You'll know them and all their jobs pretty well. Though there's some things you might prefer not to know.
Yeah. So that was that game.
Dude, the best part is the tranquil, calm British guy. Well, sometimes there's things you don't want to see too. That's right. And then you click on it, and there's this guy going, getting his legs
sawed off. So as a kid,
that's just life on a ship.
That's when Brengineer looks up and
school.
he's like,
This was in school. And so I would like play this game and just click that scene over and over again.
Over and over.
And there's other scenes where like there's a battle and like one guy fires a cannon and the cannon like rolls over his leg and like snaps his leg off. And it's just like, what is this stuff?
There's one piece where after all the cannons have fired, the guys are like laying around with splinters of like the ships stuck in their bodies, and they're just like writhing around on the ground. It's amazing.
Yeah. So, just a really, it was awesome. So for me as a kid, that was just like, whoa, this is crazy. So just a real quick history of cross sections. Because it turns out cross sections have been around since the Renaissance, and they were actually a sort of a minor. They're a minor invention of the Renaissance period. Basically, as an idea of here's what this thing is, and here's what it would look like on the inside. Or if they wanted to show, for example, how a mining operation would work underground, they would draw that. Or here's this windmill, and here is how it should. It's basically a way of doing planning and sort of blueprints, like early blueprints. And if you roll down here, you can see one on the side here. Yeah, exactly. So you can see one by.
Is this how you smoke during battle?
Okay, I just threw that in for fun, but
give me my pre-battle pipe, my pre-joust pipe.
There's a tower here, and you can see that on the inside, the tower is supposed to use this pulley to lift this stone up. You can kind of see where the tower has been cut away. You can see inside of what's going on. This is like one of the earliest cross sections.
I have a cool book that's like this like ancient mysteries book, but it's got an old cross section of a drinking fountain from like Greece.
Really?
Yeah, and it shows where the coin goes into the fountain, and it pushes this weight down, and the lever lifts up and allows this valve to send rushing hot water into your face, so you can have a little sippy sip before you go to the vomitorium.
He wants to drink. He wants to drink hot water.
It helps you vom. It helps you vom, bro. You get all that.
Helps you in the orgy.
It's like having a nice hot cuppa.
And then this guy with his pipe in his mouth. That's supposed to be some sort of. It's supposed to help a knight be able to breathe underwater. I guess.
Yes. We're going to storm them from the river.
I love this instructional video of if you ever find yourself face deep in a river, covered in armor where you can't swim to the top, just safely remove your breathing tube apparatus and jam it up into the surface.
Yes, the greatest breathing pipe in all of Christendom. No.
So later on, you got guys like Reynold Brown, who, if you're a member of the cover cult, you can hear a thing or two about Reynold Brown.
Yeah.
But Reynold Brown was one of the guys during the Second World War who brought
we're circling
cross
back.
sections into prominence, right? And actually, it was from doing this episode that it brought back all the warm and fuzzies from my childhood Brengineer cross-section days.
That's awesome.
I just love a good war.
Now,
I just love a good dismembering.
Yeah,
exactly. Now, it was during the golden age of illustration. Does anyone know about the golden age of illustration?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. It was 1992 when this book and DINOTOPIA was put out. End of story. Have a good night.
True, but more true is about late 1800s to about the 1960s. And what was happening is you had all these new artists coming out. There were easier to use printing presses. Being able to copy off art was much easier. So you had all these illustrators coming out of the woodworks, creating these incredible pieces. And so you saw a lot of this during the Art Deco phase, Art Nouveau phase. These types of
this is like
movements.
The look of the future.
The look of the future,
right.
and
the cross section of our department store.
Look,
exactly.
you can see Archibald banging his secretary in the bathroom. This cross section. That Archibald.
Yeah, so you're getting these big magazines filled with
These are
great
fantastic.
hand-drawn illustrations. And one of these very famous illustrators during this time was Frank Solitz. He really came up with how cross-sections are seen today. He is kind of known as, I guess, the grandfather of the cross-section. The modern cross-section as you know it. So what we have here is how a department store operates.
Yeah.
And it's done in that very,
I'm sick and tired of all these walls. Let's knock them down.
Right. And once again, hyper detail. Pastel colors of the 50s.
Yeah, for sure. You're not mistaking this with any other era.
Exactly. You've got how a modern brewery operates.
Awesome.
Same kind of thing. And these illustrations ended up in like Popular Mechanics. He had, imaginary spacecraft. He had how a moon base would look. How, this experimental sky wing would operate.
So is this how the Russians got the bomb? Because he drew them a cross section of the CIA building, and they knew exactly. Look, comrade, at this new cross section book. We can get right to the secrets.
What file is that tiny man holding? C1. Okay, tell us to get C1.
Look, there is Archibald in his office again. We will make sure to get him a nice distraction.
So, this kind of stuff was ending up in scientific journals. It was just used for educational purposes until suddenly you're in the 90s. You've got young Brengineer in his PJs looking at that dude getting his leg cut off, and it transformed him. Right?
My leg!
Sometimes life wasn't always fun on the ship.
My ass!
So there we go. I see a cross section. Anytime I see one or a cross section book, if I have the time, I will pick it up. I will look through it. I'll see what it's about. I get the warm and fuzzies.
Yeah.
I used to sit at home, try to do my own cross sections. I was never happy with the results.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, you should try again.
Yeah.
I would sit there.
You should paint one.
I would just create military bases and spaceships and different things. And they were never detailed enough, and they're never three-dimensional enough.
How many dismemberings were in those?
There were so many dismemberings. So many.
Well, Brengineer, thank you for giving us a cross section of your childhood.
Yes. I'll see what you did there.
Get out of here, Archibald! You don't belong in this cross section.
Hey, what's up? I'm Archibald. Maybe you've seen me.
You want to see a cross section of my penis? With that, thank you all again for being a part of this journey as we uncover the mysteries behind these awesome covers. Our website is coverdecoder.com. If you have any questions, comments, or covers, please send us the covers.
The next time you're in front of that space heater with your Brengineer blanket pulled up tight and your little muggy mug of chalky milks, and you're looking at your favorite cover, just whip out your smartphone and send that cover to us.
Yeah. Send it to coverdecoder@gmail.com, right? Also, check us out on Instagram at coverdecoder. We have a Patreon. If you want to become a cover cultist, if you want to get the secret hidden cover content, you have to go to Patreon.
Join us.
That helps us out a lot, and you get something out of it too.
Yes.
So please like, review, and follow us on whatever platform you're listening to. It helps us tons. We're forever grateful.
Forever.
And remember, you look at covers, you like what you see.
Yes!